Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showcasing how to kill the Dungeon Guardian. And this is going to be for Console Edition and PC, so I'm going to be using a method that is also able to be used in Console Edition. Now, there's a slightly better method you can use in PC to fight it, so I will be telling you guys the difference between the two in Console and PC. So the first step to killing the Dungeon Guardian is you're going to go to the dungeon and make sure you have not killed Skeletron. If you have talked to this old man and killed Skeletron, then this has now become impossible, which means that you would need to create a new world and one where you have not fought Skeletron before. And the first step that we're going to need to do is figure out exactly where does the Dungeon Guardian spawn. So you're going to have to take a few deaths on this one to figure out exactly where the Dungeon Guardian is going to start spawning. But it shouldn't take too long. You should be able to just go down pretty far. Now, there is another way you can do this besides just hoping, and that is to get a depth meter. And with the depth meter in your inventory, you can see it says I'm 6 underground. And when you get to 0... Or wait, yep, when... Not when you get to 0, but when this... You can check when this ticks on, and you will get killed by the Dungeon Guardian. So anyway, that right there, we have an X on the map now. If you're playing on console, you won't have an X on the map, or I don't remember if you have an X on the map. Now we know exactly where the Dungeon Guardian is going to start spawning, so that's our first step. Now, the next step to figuring it out is, obviously, he spawns right there, right down there. So what we need to do is dig a straight path with probably no platforms in the way. Really, platforms don't matter in this situation, but I'm going to break the platforms anyway, and just dig a straight path up into the ceiling. And I would advise that you do this not in easy mode. I would just go to a new world with no Skeletron. So now you've got a straight hole, so I can fall straight down here, and it will spawn Skeletron. I mean, the Dungeon Guardian. But I don't want to spawn him yet, obviously. I missed a platform there. I think that's where I spawn him, so I don't want to go any lower than this. So I'm gonna have a platform here I can stand on if I need to. And now we have a nice little spawning area. The next thing you're going to need to do is come out of your hole here, and if you're... And now here's where the two methods split. There are two options. So this would be the Console Edition option. So if you're playing Console Edition, you're going to need to collect the Flairon, or if you're using the duplication method and have access to an SDMG, you can get that in console as well. It's just very difficult, so probably get the Flairon. You're going to need a few gravity potions. Probably just one, but I'm gonna bring 10 just in case I lose, and a bunch of platforms for console. Now, if you're in PC, you need to collect an SDMG or a Flairon, where the SDMG is going to be a little bit better than the Flairon is. But collect an SDMG, steal the 10 gravity potions, and instead of platforms, get a cosmic car key. So instead of getting the platforms, you can get a cosmic car key. I'm going to show you guys the PC methods first, which means I'm going to use an SDMG and a cosmic car key. And of course, you can always use the Flairon if you want to in PC as well. It's just going to be a little bit faster to use the SDMG. Now, you're going to need to equip your cosmic car key. So we're going to bring this over and equip our cosmic car key. So now, if we press our button to go into our mount, we now have a cosmic car key. And we're going to have those gravity potions right here, and preferably only just have gravity potions as the only potion in your inventory, so you don't have to click them specifically to enable it. Now, if you're using the SDMG instead of the Flairon, you're going to need to get a endless musket pouch. Now, the reason you want an endless musket pouch instead of a bunch of musket balls is you might run out of musket balls if you lose, and it's a lot more waste of money. So to make an endless musket pouch, you're going to need to stand at a crystal ball with 4 stacks of 999 musket balls. Now, if you don't know how to get crystal ball, you just have to find the wizard, and you can buy one from the wizard. Now, we're going to make ourselves an endless musket pouch right here, and we can set this in our ammo slot. Really doesn't matter where we put it. Put it wherever we want it to be. And now we're ready for the PC method. So, to start the battle in PC, now, you can use wings to do this part. You technically don't need the gravity potion in PC, but I would highly recommend it in case your Dungeon Guardian spawns way down here in the dungeon or something way, way far down, and you have to go a long ways. Now, see, I can just fly out, and I don't have an issue. But if you don't have wings or something, you're going to want to use the gravity potion. So I'm going to pretend that I don't have wings, and we're going to use the gravity potion to do this. So first, you need to drink your gravity potion. So we're going to drink one of those, and then we're going to fall down. Wait till a Dungeon Guard... Well, I forgot about the platform here. Have your SDMG in your hand or your Flairon. Wait till a Dungeon Guardian spawns. Now, I don't know why they're not spawning yet. Was it here that they spawned? We have to... Whoa! You're going to fail a few times. So this is why you need several gravity potions. Drink another gravity potion. Let's head down. Oh, guys. Wait, wait, I forgot we have... We have Master Ninja gear, so we avoided that. That could be useful, or black belt. So now get in your UFO, your cosmic car key mount, and just start shooting at them with the SDMG and fly along. So we're just going to keep flying and shooting at these guys because they can only take 1 damage. So here's the theory behind doing this. Instead of, say, using something stronger, possibly, I don't know, like a solar flare or something, or something of that sort, is Dungeon Guardians, no matter what, only take 1 damage and 2 damage on critical hits. So the fastest weapon is going to be your best bet. Now, there's going to be a bit of a hard point because you're not going to be able to kill this guy by just flying right at the end of the world. You're going to have to turn around, which can be quite difficult at times. And the console edition method is pretty much the same as this, except that instead of just, you can't fly with the cosmic car key, so instead you'll end up using a really long platform and wings. But we're just going to fly along here, and if there's any sky islands, they can ruin you, so make sure you try to avoid those if you can. I did not look where they were, so try to stay at an elevation where you're not going to hit sky islands. So I'm going to head down here. Now, you may have realized that I have 2 Dungeon Guardians in my actual little stack here. That is unlucky. You really only want to have 1 ideally, because once you kill 1, you don't want to be murdered by the other one trying to pick up your other thing, or accidentally hit that one that you haven't damaged or something of that sort, because turning around can make that a big hassle. So if you can, try to only spawn 1 Dungeon Guardian. But I'm just going to continue flying this way until I hit the edge of the world, and I'll show you guys what to do next. Now, guys, that we've hit the end of the world, we're going to need to fly up like this, and then turn left, and keep flying up. And then as soon as you go up and or over them, start heading back down to your original position. So try to stay at your same elevation, because obviously if there is a sky island in your way, you're going to want to stay... Oh, I accidentally hit my gravity potion, guys. You're going to want to stay at the same elevation you were to try to avoid those sky islands. So now we've officially turned around, and you'll just do that over and over again every time you hit the edge of the world. So we're just going to continue flying. And another little tip while we're here for doing this is don't let the Dungeon Guardians go off screen. Make sure they stay on your screen, because if they despawn, it's really going to suck after you've done, I don't know, 7,000 of the 999 damage, and suddenly one of the Guardians despawns and you lose all progress and have to try again. So you're just going to want to keep flying like this. And the console edition method, okay guys, we've hit the edge of the world, so you're just going to fly up. And you want to stay close enough to the ground to be able to see when you've hit the edge of the world, and also not smash into the ceiling of the world like I almost just did there. And then again, just turn around. Now when I say console edition, I mean console edition 1.2 of Terraria, which is the old gen console edition, so Wii U, Xbox 360, I think, and the older PlayStation version. I can't quite remember exactly which versions they are specifically, but they're not 1.3, they're 1.2, which means you will not have a Moonlord method. If you have the Moonlord, then you can use the PC method. So any 1.3, so console 1.3, or anything like that is going to work for the PC method, because you can get the Cosmic Car Key and the SDMG if you want to. Of course, the Flairon is also available. Make sure when you're turning around that you're clear of any sky islands. You do not want to run into Sky Island when you're trying to turn around, as well as keeping aware of other enemies around. If you do not have an Obsidian Shield, a Cobalt Shield, or a Ankh Shield, you may run into an enemy which will knock you back and possibly cause you to run into the Dungeon Guardian. If you don't know already, the Dungeon Guardian does instantly kill you. The only reason that I didn't die earlier when I went straight through it was because of this Master Ninja gear, which allows me to have a small chance of not getting hurt by any attack at a given point in time, which is very, very useful if you can get it, but if you cannot, that is perfectly fine. It's a post-Plantera item. The really fast skeletons in the dungeon, I can't think of the name right now of the enemy. It's the really, really fast-running skeletons after Plantera that spawn in the dungeon. I'm sorry I can't think of the name, but if I pause, I'm going to lose all my progress fighting the Dungeon Guardian. Guys, we're approaching at the end here. Just a little bit of health left. Only 50 health left about right now. About to kill him with the PC method here. I think I might have to make one more turn. So we did kill one, guys. We killed one of the Dungeon Guardians. This other one is left because we left him here. But he's gonna drop a bone key. Now, this guy's gonna try to kill me the entire time that I try to get it. Ah, guys. That's why you don't want to have 2 of them trying to chase you and kill you at the same time. That's why you ideally only want to have 1. So I'm gonna go grab that key there. So the Dungeon Guardian is going to drop a bone key, which happens to land right next to this fallen star here. And the bone key is pretty pointless. I'm going to tell you right now. It's pretty pointless. All it does is give you a pet. So if I equip this in my pet slot, it doesn't do any damage. All it does is kind of just fly around me, but it's kind of this staple saying like, hey guys, look how cool I am. I killed the Dungeon Guardian, which can be pretty difficult. So I've got this crazy skeleton dude following me around now. He's pretty awesome. That's all that it drops, but it's pretty cool, and it's the exact same thing in Console Edition if you want to get that. So let's hop into the Console Edition method. For the Console Edition method, you're going to want, instead of using the SDMG or the Cosmic Car Key that you would in PC, you don't have those options. So instead, you're going to use something like the Flairon and a bunch of wooden platforms. Now, there's going to be a few accessories which you're going to need to equip to be able to fight this, which is going to be wings. Now, I'm going to use Red's wings. And now you may notice I'm not actually playing in Console Edition, but this is the way that you would play in Console Edition to get this to work. So if you had access to Red's wings, those would be great wings. Doesn't really matter the wings that you use as long as they can fly. So I'm going to use Red's wings. You're going to want to use an Ankh shield, a Obsidian shield, or a Cobalt shield to be sure that you don't take any knockback. I'm going to use the Ankh shield. And then you're going to want to use Frostpark boots, but if you don't have those, try using Lightning boots. If you don't have those, you can try using Spectre boots. If you don't have those, you can either use Hermes, Flurry, or Sailfish boots. Now, I'm going to use Frostpark because those are the best option and will allow you to run the fastest. And now that you have some boots, some wings, and no knockback, and it doesn't really matter what armor because you can't get hit anyway, and you have a gravity potion and your Flairon, you are ready. Now, the Flairon is obtained from Duke Fishron, in case you're curious, and the SDMG was obtained from the Moonlord. You're going to need to make a giant platform in the sky. Now, I don't think I'm going to... Okay, I can reach it. There's a giant platform that just goes along the sky, and try not to get too close to Sky Islands. And if there's anything in the way, so say there's a tree in the way over here, you're going to need to break it out of the way so there's nothing in the way of your battlefield. You do not want to be running into anything while you're doing this. And make sure, obviously, the edges of the world are also clear. So now all you have to do is make sure you have a gravity potion, because it's going to be even more ideal in the Console Edition method that you have a gravity potion. And just do the exact same thing. So fall down, wait for a guardian to spawn. Now you have to be a little bit carefuler, since I don't know if there's actually a black belt in the... Oh, goodness. I don't know if there's a black belt in the Console Edition of the game. Now, if there is, obviously, you can use that. Okay, guys, we're bringing one out here now. So you need to fly up to your platform. Once you get up, make sure they don't despawn. And... Ooh, that was close. You need to run away from these guys. Now, flying up and down may be necessary to gain enough distance from them, because they are very, very fast. You may want speed-increasing items, if possible, which I might actually equip an Aglet and an Anklet of the Wind to increase those speeds if it is needed for that to happen. But you're basically just going to keep flinging your Flairon directly at these guys. And, again, if you don't have enough speed, you can always drink speed potions, things of that sort. Or you can do this method of kind of just jumping up and down over and over again, doing damage. Now, this is going to be... The Console Edition method is going to be a lot slower, but it's going to also work. They're going to be one of the most effective ways you can do it in console. As I said, you guys, you can always equip an Anklet of the Wind and an Aglet to be a little faster, and also use a Swiftness potion if you'd like that. Now, I will have to do that out of auto pause. Pause the game so I can show you guys this. Falling is where you're going to gain speed, and going up a little bit, or gain distance from the Dungeon Guardian, rather. This is going to be very, very tedious. You may not have to do this in console. I'm not sure. The Dungeon Guardian could actually be a little bit slower in Console Edition, at least from what I remember. It might have been a little bit slower. If you're curious as to why I'm using the Flairon, it's because a lot of the bubbles are hitting it. If something like the Terrorblade doesn't fire as many projectiles as the Flairon does, you want something that can hit it fast, that has a little bit of distance, because you can't just stand directly in front of the Dungeon Guardian. So this is going to be what's going to hit things the most of what I've found in the Console Edition of the game. Now, that's turning around in console is going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to go up still, go down still, just like that. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult. Console's generally just going to be a little bit harder than trying to do everything in PC. Again, it's way more ideal to only have one Dungeon Guardian following you, but I've accidentally brought two again. And the Console Edition method can very well work for PC, although I feel like the PC method is easier with things like the UFO mount. But of course, you could try to get it earlier in the game, before fighting the Moonlord, or before even fighting Golem. If you want to do it earlier in the game, you might have to use the Console Edition method. But I highly suggest you use the later PC Edition method if you are playing PC, as it's a lot easier. Guys, I actually died in the middle of my fight, and I'm going to have to redo it. That tends to happen sometimes in Console Edition. As I said, it's a bit more difficult. If you can get a dashing accessory, that's going to be very helpful, although I'm not going to use it in this tutorial. But the farther away the Flairon gets, the more bubbles it spawns. And you want to spawn a lot of bubbles, but also you don't want it to be too far away where the bubbles are missing. The hardest part of the Dungeon Guardian battle, especially in Console Edition, is just staying able to do the battle, not accidentally running the wrong direction. Endurance. You have to just really be in it for a long time. It can take a long time to kill it. I don't know how long I've been recording, but every time you mess up, which can be any time, you can make one mess up and die instantly, which is a long time and a lot of effort lost. So keeping that endurance up and making sure you don't die is just the main, obvious, hardest part of the actual battle. If there was no endurance, if it was quick, it wouldn't be an issue. It's just keeping that strategy and that staring at the screen as the health slowly goes down and not messing up at all. Just keeping completely focused is the hardest part. If you ever get a little bit too close to the Dungeon Guardian, or feel like you're getting a little bit too close and you're not doing this, and you're doing this down strategy to keep out of the way of islands as I am, then you're going to need to fly really high and then just fall down really fast as long as you have a little bit of distance left. And you should be able to get away from the Guardian a little bit. And generally you're going to want to do that before you hit the edge of the world, just to make sure you avoid running into him. But to get the SDMG in console, you're going to need to go and join someone's multiplayer world who owns the SDMG, perform the duplication glitch with them to get the SDMG. That's the only way to get it in the old gen console edition. Guys, we're nearing up on the last little bit of health here. About to win it, and dead. And he drops the bone key. Now, in console edition, that is the console edition strategy. You've now got the bone key. You've done everything. I actually used some potions for the tutorial's sake, which were just Danger Sense, Night Owl, and Shine, just to make the video a little bit brighter. But guys, that is the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Now, you may have noticed I was using mods in this tutorial. Now, no mods are needed to complete this tutorial. This is a completely vanilla strategy. The only reason I was using mods in this tutorial video is to speed up the video and make the tutorial easier to make, okay? That's the only reason I use mods. No mods are needed, okay? So now you've got the bone key, you've got everything you want. The console edition strategy is definitely a lot harder than the PC strategy, obviously. But that is how you kill the Dungeon Guardian in Terraria. Now, you may find yourself needing to make a little bit of a bigger hole to drop out of sometimes, but that's how you do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. So please like it if you like it, share if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye! Okay, guys. Okay. Okay.